Are you on the internet trying to figure out what is the best mattress for your money? If that's the case, you've landed in the right place. Hello, my name is Lee Carter. I'm president of Sleep Essentials. Sleep Essentials is a company I started 13 years ago selling big brand name mattresses. I also had, 13 years ago, the largest selection of memory foam mattresses. And I had to learn the hard way. The bigger the brand name, the bigger the junk. And memory foam is polyurethane. It's essentially plastic. And I'm going to teach you all of the experiences I've had over the last 13 years selling these big brand name mattresses so that you will be an educated consumer. And I'm going to show you the marketing gimmicks. I'm going to show you the warranty gimmicks, some of the sales gimmicks, and I'm also going to show you something that you're not going to find anywhere else on the internet, at least not in the detail you're going to get in this video, and that has to do with the fire-retardant chemicals used in mattresses. This is not told to you when you go into a mattress store or furniture store and you're looking at mattresses. They mention nothing about toxic chemicals in mattresses. I'm going to expose all of this for you. So sit back and get you a cup of coffee because we're going to be here a while. I'm going to teach you a great deal. Now the first thing is I've got a letter in my hand written to me this past month from one of the largest mattress manufacturers in the United States expressing to me through their legal department, through their attorneys, to cease telling basically the truth about their company. Now I'm not going to mention any names. In videos I've done in the past, I told names and I told you the truth about those companies. But they didn't like it. And they're basically strong-arming me through threats of lawsuits to cease telling the truth about them. Now I'm going to give you an example of a truth they're asking me to stop saying it's not true, and I'm going to prove to you that it is true. This company in this letter writes that I have said that blankety-blank mattresses are 100% plastic. Well, this blankety-blank mattress company makes 100% polyurethane foam mattresses. Now, polyurethane foam is the most used material in mattresses today, and it is the nemesis. It is your enemy in the mattress industry. But I start out by telling about this company because it illustrates. But they're claiming that I'm saying their mattresses are plastic. Well, I'm going to prove to you that polyurethane foam is 100% plastic. Now what I have here is an article written on the internet by a material science engineer, and he writes, is polyurethane considered plastic? Why or why not? There is thermoset and thermoplastic polyurethane polymers. Both can be considered as plastics. And of course he explains a little bit about what some of these terms are, but at the very end of the article he says, so that it is correct to say that thermoplastic and thermoset polymers are plastic, including polyurethane. So polyurethane is plastic. Now when you go into a mattress store and look at mattresses, look at the brand names. I'm not going to mention any brand names. Each model has a law label on it. And you can read the law label. And the law label will say, like if it's a memory foam mattress, it's likely going to say 100% polyurethane foam. Folks, that's plastic. Now why does that matter to you? Well, it matters because polyurethane foam softens substantially with use and has a very short life. The reason it's used in the mattress industry today is because it's dirt cheap. It's plastic. It feels good in the mattress store. They talk about it being the latest technology in sleep. It's simply plastic. Now, to prove that it softens with use, I've got a copy of many warranties. One of the companies, one of the largest manufacturers, I have a copy of their warranty, and I'm going to read to you what it says in their warranty. See, the manufacturers understand that most consumers do not read the fine print of the warranty. And even if you did, it's written in legalese that you probably wouldn't understand. This particular warranty says, it is understood this limited warranty does not include a normal increase in softness of the blankety-blank pressure relieving material. I said blankety-blank because I'm not naming names. As you can see, they admit that it softens. Now, I never sold this particular brand, but I used to sell brands that were virtually identical. They were 100% polyurethane, they were memory foam, the contours, the stuff that contours to your body. And when you go into a mattress store, it's the most pushed product is memory foam. Now the company, the manufacturer that I sold, let me back up a second. Now, the warranty was 20 years. And if it takes 20 years to soften, that wouldn't be so bad. Let me show you how quickly this particular brand softens. eOpinions is a place where people used to be able to write in about the products they buy. Back then, I downloaded a couple of testimonials. One is the woman writes, "Blankety blank did not last, not worth the money. For the first 4 years that I owned the mattress, I loved it. I'm now 6 months into the 5th year and I'm very disappointed. So something changed in 4.5 years." Now that customer doesn't get very explicit, but the next customer does. She writes, breaks down too quickly, avoid. Now we're talking about one of these big brand name memory foam mattresses. She writes, "I was a die-hard blankety blank fan," with the emphasis on was. Counting the bed lasting for about 4 years only. My husband and I are both thin and his side started softening after 4 years. It's now 4.5 years later, while my side's not as soft as his, it's catching up quickly and we both wake up with backaches. So we have testimonials and a warranty that admits that it softens with use. Polyurethane foam softens, you can bet on it. Now, I used to sell a knockoff. I'm going to read their warranty to you real quick. Just so you'll know, I'm not picking on a particular company. I am picking on a particular material. And if the company's using that material, then you know what kind of problems you're going to have. Now, this particular company that I used to sell had a 25-year warranty. The warranty writes, "It is understood that this does not include a normal increase in softness in the foam." Same thing. There are multiple companies. Let me find the write-up here. Yes. You can go online today. This is the thing that's really interesting. There are online-only mattress companies popping up everywhere. Go on the internet, you're going to see ads on Facebook, you're going to see ads on YouTube. Anywhere you're on the internet, you're going to see ads for these mattresses. And they give you a 100-day trial. If you don't like it, send it back. They promote it as the best sleep, best pressure relieving. Well, all of these online companies have something in common. All of them are made of 100% plastic foam. You got to understand, plastic is dirt cheap. Now, I'm going to give you an estimate, not an exact figure, but in an estimate, a queen size online-only mattress company produces, mattresses cost to produce about $100. And they sell it to you for $900 or $1,000 in a queen. So you can see the markup is huge. That's the reason why they can afford to give you a 100-day trial. If you don't like it, send it back. And in 100 days, it's not going to soften. It takes 1 to 2 to 3 years to soften. And you're not going to figure that out. Now, chances are you're going to like the bed because the reason you're looking for a new mattress is because the one you got right now doesn't sleep well. So you get a brand new, all foam, memory foam mattresses. For a lot of people, it's going to sleep great. If they have to take back 10%, because the margin is so high, they can afford to throw a few away. Because it's illegal to resell, so they have to donate it or throw it away. So statistically, they have no overhead like a retail showroom. They operate out of a warehouse. They ship you a mattress that costs $100 to produce that you paid $1,000. And, you know, obviously, since you're not able to lay on it in a showroom, they give you 100 days to send it back. Statistically, they make a ton of money. And these companies are everywhere on the internet. But they're all polyurethane foam. Let me read their warranties. I'm not naming any names. I'm just going to read warranties of about 15 of the top brands that are on the internet. This is one particular online company. It says, warranty does not cover, quote, normal increase in softness which can occur during regular use. They're admitting to it softens. Guess what? It's polyurethane foam. The next company, warranty does not cover, quote, a normal increase in softness in the foam, pressure relieving material which does not affect the pressure relieving qualities of the mattress. They're admitting to it softens. The next company, another online only company, Manufacturing defects do not include uneven softness of the surface of the mattress that occur over time after use. Another big brand name online only mattress company. Blankety blank warranty does not cover the following. Quote, a normal increase in softness of the foam pressure relieving material which does not affect the pressure relieving qualities of the mattress. Another very prominent online only company. This warranty does not cover normal increases or decreases in the feel of any normal decrease in the recovery feature of the blankety blank mattress memory foam material, neither which affect the pressure relieving qualities. Another company, very, very big company, lots of ads. Their ads are very entertaining. If you've seen their ads, you may even forward it to your friends because they're so entertaining. Quote, for the health and safety of anyone who would be required to dispose of or otherwise handle the sleep set, blankety blank and its retailers or agents may refuse to inspect such products to assess whether covered by warranty, in which case blankety blank reserves the right to deny warranty coverage. Localized firmness changes or normal are not covered under warranty. Another big online only mattress company. You know, these are the companies that they ship you their mattress in a box. And by the way, if you go to YouTube and look for some of these names, there's all these people. Looks like what they're doing is they're just normal consumers and they're doing a review of their mattress. They're actually getting paid for those videos. But anyway, it's these mattresses that come in a box, and you'll see the videos. They take it out of the box and they unroll it and it expands. Okay. This is another company. It is understood by the purchaser that this warranty does not include a normal increase in softness of the memory foam. Polyurethane foam softens, folks. Get it? I mean, you can count on it. Now, I used to sell the big brand name company. I used to sell knockoffs of the big brand name companies. This was a particular model that I sold. This is a demo unit. This is your memory foam. This thing is old. I've had it a long time now. 3 inches of memory foam. Which is polyurethane. The base foam is quick recovery, cheap polyurethane, very, very inexpensive to make. I sold one of these mattresses to a man that weighed about 400 pounds. He wore it out in 1 year. He called me up. He was a very large man. He slept in a king size by himself. He called me up within about a year. He says, you know, if you roll over to the middle of the bed or the other side of the bed, it feels like it was when it was new, but right here on this side where he's laying, it's gotten a lot softer. He's sinking way down in it. See, the memory foam is a great back supporting mattress because it holds you flat and contours to the curves of your spine. But as it softens, it gets a depression, a sagging effect. Since most of your weight's in the center, it softens quicker where most of your weight is. Gives you a hammock effect. And I had to learn this the hard way because I was selling had the largest selection of memory foam at the time. You have to understand, I market myself to chiropractors, to osteopaths, physical therapists for the referrals of their patients. And let's say a chiropractor refers this patient, and I sell him a memory foam mattress, and it wears out in about 4 years. It's not supporting his spine anymore. Well, he tells the chiropractor, you know, that mattress that Lee sold me didn't last very long. Well, the chiropractor's not going to refer his patients to me anymore. So I knew from selling these that these don't last and that I needed a better product. Now I'm going to talk about what's a better product in a minute. But you have to understand, not just memory foam mattresses, all of your big brand name mattresses, every single one of them. I mean, you go into a mattress chain store and look at mattresses. The bigger the brand name, the bigger the junk, and the slicker the marketing. And everything is based on polyurethane. It's all plastic. Now, it's interesting in this particular warranty, the one that I used to sell, this right here. Notice in the warranty it also says it does not include a deterioration of the foam with an indentation of 1.9 of an inch. So you have to have a 2-inch permanent dip in the mattress before it's covered under warranty. The two things that are going to go wrong with this mattress are not even covered in the fine print. The first thing I'm showing you is that warranties are gimmicks. The manufacturers know that consumers don't read the fine print. So when you have a problem with it 3 or 4 years later, sorry, softening's not covered. Sorry, the body impression's only an inch. It has to be 2 inches. The industry average is 1.5 inches. And I was selling these big brand name mattresses to people, and they were coming back within 2 or 3 years You know, this mattress got a huge dip in it. Now, the first one I ever experienced, when I first started the business, some friends of mine came and bought a pillow top mattress from me. A really, really thick pillow top mattress. I mean, it was a good 16 inches thick. It had a pillow top in it about that thick. Within 6 months, it had huge body impressions in it. Now, this was completely new to me. I had never worked in the mattress industry. I knew nothing about mattresses. I was learning everything from my manufacturer's reps who were teaching me. So I called my manufacturer's rep and said, I've got a customer that's upset with their pillow top mattress, got dips in it. And he said, well, that's normal. And I'm like, okay, his name is Danny. I said, Danny, it might be normal, but my customer doesn't like it. And he said, well, I'll inspect it. I'll go look at it. It has to be a deeper than 1.5 inches. And if it is, we'll replace it. He inspected it, and sure enough, he decided to replace it. So apparently he had a deep 1.5 inches. I was only in business about 6 or 8 months. It only took 6 months for these people to find out their mattress got dips in it. 6 months. The thicker the polyurethane, the deeper the body impression, and the quicker it softens. Okay? So the nemesis is polyurethane. Now, now that we've learned what polyurethane is and that it doesn't last, I want to teach you some of the marketing gimmicks. So let me set this aside. One of the large mattress manufacturers that I used to sell, I'm not going to mention any names because they'll sue me now. This is the marketing material they had. And I want you to pay attention to something here. It says here, never turn mattress. What this means is you never have to turn your mattress over. Now that sounds like a nice feature. If you're an elderly woman, a single woman, you know, picking up a mattress and turning it over can be a burden. So, you know, a salesman that says, look, you don't have to turn our mattresses over, that's very appealing. Well, the truth is you can't turn them over anyway. There's no upholstery on the bottom side. See, they took the expense of the upholstery on one side out, and then they market it to you as if they've made you a better product. Well, now you're getting half a mattress. And I had to learn the hard way that what they're really doing is making you half a mattress. Now, what you'll probably run into, and I was repeating what the mattress manufacturer sales rep was telling me, is that no. The expense of the material on the bottom, we put better materials on the top so that the one side is that much more durable, and then you don't have to flip it. Well, I can tell you from experience that these people my customers were complaining of their mattress having body impressions within 2 years. So they weren't putting better materials, they were making you a cheaper product and spinning it to you through their slick marketing that they made you a better product. You see how slick marketing works? We've already seen it in the warranties. Now we're starting to see how they make the mattresses. There's one other aspect about this mattress. It says here on this foam encased wireless edge. Now what they're talking about here, let me show you. This is the demo unit that came with the mattress. This thing has a 3-inch foam border goes around the outside edge. And they market it to you that this foam supports the edge and gives it a firm edge. Well, when the mattress is new and you sit on it in a showroom floor, it does have a firm sitting edge because of this very firm foam. But I've already proven to you that polyurethane foam softens with use. So if you sit on the edge of this bed every morning, you're concentrating more weight in the seating position. It's like a 400-pound man who owned that memory foam mattress wore it out in a year. Well, sure enough, I sold one of these polyurethane foam encased mattresses to a lady who was an elderly woman who was on oxygen. I delivered it because, you know, when I first got started in business, I used to do all my own mattress deliveries. And so I delivered it, and I noticed that she had an oxygen concentrator and, you know, a little tube where she had to breathe. She probably was a smoker when she was younger, and now she's on oxygen. Well, every morning she got up and she sat right here at the end foot of her bed. Within 8 months, she called me up and said, the edge of this bed has just collapsed. So I went and looked at it. Sure enough, I mean, you could just push it right to the box springs because the foam had no substance to it anymore. So, begs the question, did they really put the polyurethane foam on the edge to firm up the edge, or did they do it for some other reason? The truth is, they reduced the amount of steel they use in it by 18% by putting this 3-inch foam border around it. And then they spin it to you that they've made you a better product. It's now foam encased, has a firm sitting edge. And again, when it's new in the showroom, it does have a firm sitting edge, so it's very convincing. But if you sit on the edge of your bed, it's going to give out. Now, some of your better manufacturers will have springs to the edge. They'll just put stiffer springs on the edge. But that's more expensive than plastic. So you can see the marketing gimmicks. And I'm sharing all this with you because the simple fact of the matter is, the bigger the brand name, they don't make a better product. They make a slicker marketed product. The goal in the industry, by the way, is to squeeze a little bit more profit for their investors out of, a little bit less material, a little bit lower quality. They're constantly coming out with new recipes. It's polyurethane, poly meaning many. There's a million different recipes for polyurethane. They come out with some way to make it cheaper, cheaper, cheaper. Okay? And if you buy one of these mattresses, you're going to get a body impression in a few years. You're going to soften the foam. It's not going to support you anymore. That's just what you can expect. There's a reason why there's a mattress store on every corner in every major city. And you might think, gosh, why are there so many mattress stores? Well, the reality is mattresses don't last today. So if you're replacing your mattress every 2 to 4 years or 5 years, there's a higher demand for mattresses. There's going to be more stores. Follow me? I think it's pretty easy to see. Now, there is an alternative to polyurethane. In fact, let me do this first. There's an alternative to polyurethane. Mattress manufacturers could be using latex. Latex is the sap of a tree. It's not plastic, it's real rubber. They tap the side of these trees and they get about a pint a day out of a mature tree. You can imagine how many pints it takes to make a king or queen size mattress. It's a lot of latex. So it's very expensive. But let me show you how long latex lasts, because I've already showed you that plastic foam does not last. Now, when I deliver mattresses as I sell, I haul off the used mattress for my customers. It's part of the service. Occasionally I run across somebody that has a latex mattress. So I started documenting how long they last. Now let me tell you a story that's funny. The reason I started documenting this. Now, I was selling big brand name mattresses and the memory foam mattresses. I got rid of that stuff and I brought in latex because I thought latex was the most durable cushioning material, which it is. The problem is latex made today is not the same as it was made 40, 50 years ago. And one of the manufacturers that I brought in had a latex. Guess what? It's foam encased. This is your latex, okay? It doesn't have a 3-inch foam border, it has a 4-inch foam border. That's a 22% reduction in the amount of latex you use. So latex today doesn't last as long as it used to be. And then there's another problem. They now make synthetic latex. And synthetic latex does not last as long as the real McCoy, the sap of a tree latex. Well, let me show you how long latex lasts. I had a gentleman come in one time, and when he got out of his truck, he was big this way, he was big this way. He was a mountain of a man. And when I saw him get out of his truck, I thought, man, you don't want to sell him anything but latex, because as big as he is, he'll destroy anything in no time. Well, when he came in the store, he said, I'm looking for the cheapest mattress you got. Now, typically when someone asks that question, they're looking for something for a spare bedroom. They don't want to spend a lot of money on the guest room that's not going to get used much. So I took him over to the cheap stuff that I had. I said, what size you need? And he said, king. Of course, I'm thinking in my head, most people don't buy kings for their spare bedroom. I said, sir, are you buying this for yourself? He said, yes. We're going in the wrong direction, because this guy is going to cuss me in a year or two of this cheap mattress, which was just a cheap inner spring with polyurethane foam. It's the cheap stuff. It's meant for a spare bedroom. I said, sir, may I be very frank with you? He said, by all means. I said, you're a very large man. I sell a lot of mattresses to consumers. I know how long they're going to last. I said, this mattress is not going to last a year under your weight. You want something more substantial. He said, I know. I buy new mattresses every year. He said, I bought the expensive mattresses. I bought the cheap mattresses. The expensive ones last no longer than the cheap ones. So I've just resigned myself to buying a new cheap mattress. Now, I tried to explain to him, you want latex. Latex will not give out. Now, you can imagine he's gun shy. He said he's bought expensive mattresses, didn't last. And latex is not cheap. So I was going to show him my latex. Now, it was one of these foam encased latex mattresses. It was actually a 6-inch. It also only had a 6-inch core and 2 inches of polyurethane on both sides. But I thought it was the best thing at the time, as I'm going to show you what really is a good product. But anyway, I was trying to sell him the latex, thinking this is going to be a better product for him. As you can imagine, he's gun shy. He said, "You got any proof the latex will last 30, 40 years?" Because that's my track record. And I had no way to prove it. So since I met that man, I started documenting what people tell me about their latex mattresses. So let me give you some examples. Again, when I deliver mattresses, I sell a haul off used mattress for my customers. Occasionally I run across somebody who has a latex mattress. And in every case, the darn thing is 30 and 40 and sometimes 50 years old. Now this is the very first one I picked up. I pulled the law label off of it. As you can see here, it says all new material consisting of latex rubber foam. I was standing in the woman's driveway and I said, "Ma'am, do you have any idea how long you've had this mattress?" She and her husband discussed it for a minute. She goes, "I'm pretty sure we bought that in 1965. I said, "Would you write me a testimonial?" And she did, that she slept on that mattress for 41 years. 41 years. Not 4 years, 41 years. I said, and the only reason, she says it still sleeps good. The only reason they replaced it is the cover material had a worn hole in it. And they finally decided maybe we should replace it. It doesn't look very nice. Now, you know, the way the consumers work, if your mattress still sleeps good, you just keep it. You end up keeping it for 40 years. That's the durability of latex. This one, I didn't talk to the customer, but when I found it, I pulled the law label off of it. It says all new material consisting of latex rubber foam. But this had the price tag stitched in the corner, $79.75. That's a pretty good indication of its age. You know, latex mattresses were expensive mattresses. And at $79, that had to have been a long time ago. I have several testimonials. Dot Poindexter wrote me. I sold her a latex mattress, and she had a latex mattress, and the only reason she had a latex mattress before, and she writes, 1952, my husband and I purchased our first Englander foam rubber mattress. We replaced this mattress 39 years later. It was still in excellent condition. There were no indentations, so it had no body impressions in it. And it's still as firm as the day we bought it. It hadn't softened. No body impressions, no softening, 39 years. Next lady, I'm sorry, this is John, lives in Bedford. He writes, "We moved our house in February '69. We bought a king-size latex mattress from Sears. It's been a very comfortable mattress for 41 years. It has lasted through 3 sons and several dogs and cats. Our old mattress was a 5-inch thick latex and it was comfortable till the end." Notice it says 5-inch thick. All of these old latex mattresses were really thin, 5 and 6 inches thick. You know, you go in mattress stores today, they're 12, 15, 20 inches. I mean, they're just huge. Why did they make these so thin? Well, it's real simple. Latex is expensive. So, and you know, 50 years ago, people didn't demand their mattresses look like this. Mattress manufacturers today know the consumer likes something really thick. They have no choice but to fill it with thick junk. You couldn't afford a 12-inch mattress. Most people can't afford a 12-inch mattress of nothing but latex. It's expensive. So they made them thin back then. One other lady wrote me an email from South Carolina. She said, "We enjoyed our latex mattress for 35 years. She sent me the little law tag on it here. It says 6-inch luxurious foam latex mattress. So 35 years. Now, I've had several people tell me they had their latex mattress 50 years. I finally got a testimonial. This woman, Sid is her name, wrote me in May of 2013. The year is 2013. She writes, "I don't have too much money, but still I've been sleeping on a very comfortable latex mattress since 1963. That's 50 years. She's been sleeping on it 50 years and it's comfortable. Now you know the difference between durable latex versus plastic. And the industry is nothing but plastic today. And why am I telling you all this? Well, because I learned all this stuff the hard way. And again, I make a lot of my business from referral, so I have to have a better product. And the latex mattresses that I carried, a brand name that I carried, were getting body impressions in it, and I learned the hard way. Well, it had a little latex, it had polyurethane on both sides. They know they can't make a 10-inch mattress out of latex, it gets too expensive, so they use a little bit of latex, put polyurethane on both sides, put polyurethane around the edge. It actually, technically, had more polyurethane in it than it had latex, but yet they called it a latex mattress. I had to learn it the hard way. So as the old saying goes, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. I am now a latex manufacturer. I now produce and sell my own latex mattresses. And I make nothing but the sap of a tree rubber. Now, I mentioned earlier there is synthetic latex. Now, if you're doing research, you probably learn a little bit about latex, maybe. If not, you will probably do some more research after you watch this video. I encourage you, check out everything I say, okay? There's two different kinds of latex, and there's two different ways of making it into a piece of foam. Now, let me show you a piece of foam. This is latex foam here. All latex has holes in it. It's natural rubber, it's very elastic. But there's two processes and there's two kinds. First, there's the Dunlop method of making the sap of a tree into a piece of foam. The Dunlop is the original or primitive method. There is now a later technology called Talalay method. The Talalay is more technologically advanced. It makes a more consistent piece of foam than the Dunlop process. Now you're going to hear that, oh, Talalay is superior because it's more consistent. You need to know what consistency means. It does not necessarily benefit the consumer, it benefits the manufacturer. Now I, as a bedding producer, let's say I need 1,000 pieces of foam. And I want a certain firmness, a certain ILD. I need 1,000 of these. In the Dunlop process, my supplier that produces this foam may have to produce 2,000 pieces to get from those 2,000 pieces 1,000 pieces that are the softness I want or the firmness that I want. So there's residual. That's the inconsistency. They produce 2,000, they have to measure each piece. You know, I don't know what the statistic is, 1 in 2 or 1 in 3, maybe 1 in 1.5 pieces will come out the density you're looking for. And it's so therefore it's inconsistency. The Talalay process is a more technologically advanced process, so it's more consistent. If they're shooting for a particular firmness, they get that firmness. And so if their buyer is needing 1,000 pieces of a certain density, they can produce exactly that many. There's no leftover, there's no measuring, so it's more efficient or more consistent for the manufacturer, not the consumer. Dunlop, all those mattress companies all those mattress examples that I gave you that were 50 years old, that was natural Dunlop latex. They lasted 50 years. And people slept on them and they were fine. They slept great. The Talalay process benefits the manufacturer. Now, the Talalay process is more expensive. There's more steps to it. So to offset the expense of the process, guess what? They use synthetic latex. 90 to 95% of all Talalay latex that's produced is a synthetic blend. It'll be typically 70% styrene butadiene, 30% the sap of a tree. Now manufacturers or retailers of mattresses will tell you it's natural because it has natural in it. That's the marketing. All I can tell you is statistically, if you hear this company or that company is using Talalay, it's a 90-95% probability it's a synthetic blend. Why does it matter? Synthetic latex does not hold up as long or as well as natural. And in fact, when I first started producing my own latex mattresses, I was using Talalay latex. I didn't know the difference. I had to learn it the hard way. And guess what? I had to replace my own mother's mattress for getting a body impression in it because the Talalay did not hold up. Now the Dunlop can be a blend of natural and synthetic, or it can be all natural. In the mattresses I produce, I use nothing but Dunlop and nothing but the sap of a tree because I know that's what's going to last. Now let me show you a little bit about my mattresses, okay? My mattresses are made of 3 layers of 3-inch latex. This is what it would look like inside. Now this is one of the mattresses here. This is the finished product. This is what it looks like inside. 3 3-inch layers. I make 4 models that are 4 different firmnesses. So you have 4 different firmness models to choose from, and usually that's enough to satisfy just about everybody that needs a mattress. In each model, the 2 bottom layers are the same density, and the top layer is softer. And in each model, each one of these layers are different. In other words, my Perfection 40 is my firmest model. It's a 40 ILD, two bottom layers of 40 ILD, top 3-inch layer of 30 ILD. ILD is a measure of firmness. So you can tell the lower the number, the softer. So this is a softer piece than these two. This gives you your support. This gives you pressure point relief and molds to the conjunctive body. It's an ideal sleep surface for back support, for pressure point relief, comfort. Okay. Now, if you step down to my Perfection 30, it's two layers of 30 ILD and a top layer of 25 ILD. As you can see, they're getting softer in the bottom and softer in the top. If you step down to my Perfection 20, two bottom layers of 25 ILD, a top layer of 20 ILD. Now my fourth mattress, my softest, my Perfection, it's called my Perfection 16, and there's really no rhyme or reason as to how I named them. I don't even remember how I named them, but I just named them somewhat based on the densities of the foam, okay? In the Perfection 16, my softest, it's two layers of 20 ILD and a top layer of 16 ILD. So it's super, super soft. Now, which one's right for you? Well, I'd like for you to call me and let's discuss that, because there's lots of factors to determine what's the right firmness for you. But what you're getting from me is 100% natural rubber, the stuff that lasted those people for 40 years. Okay? That's what you want. Now, some of the questions that people have about latex, does it, some people are allergic to latex. Oh, I can't sleep on a latex mattress, I'm allergic to latex. The foam cannot cause an allergic reaction. The foam is baked in an oven. It's a liquid. It's whipped up into a Cool Whip consistency. It's poured into a mold, and they bake it in an oven. I'm giving you a real simple, quick overview of how it's made. And in the baking process, it destroys the protein that causes an allergic reaction in people who are allergic to latex. So the foam can never cause a reaction. Okay? No worries there. Secondly, people ask, is it hot? Now, memory foam has a reputation for being hot. Indeed, it is hot. It's a closed cell foam. It's very dense and it can't breathe. They are very hot. Latex is an open celled foam. Plus, as you can see, there's a hole every square inch. There's lots of holes in this, so it's very breathable. So latex is not hot. Latex is the best durable, best sleeping. It's easier to turn over in. That's one of the complaints of memory foam, is it molds to the conjunctive body and holds you there. You got to pick yourself up out of the mold and form a new mold. Not latex, it's instant recovery. So you're laying in it, squishing it, turn over it. Instantly, it bounces back to its original form. If you could do, and there may even be some information out there, if you could do a true market analysis of what people would consider as the best mattress, latex will beat them every time. Every time. Latex is the best. It'll make everybody happy, whereas memory foam makes 60% people happy for the first 4 years, then it gives out, okay? Latex keeps giving you good sleep for decades. All right? Now, it's covered. My latex mattresses are covered in a stretch knit bamboo. Stretch knit allows the foam to mold to the contours of your body. It supports you, gives you pressure point relief. There's companies out there that are quilting their mattresses. Well, the quilt takes away from the foam's ability to mold to you. The ideal is all foam, stretch knit cover. Okay? Now, this is how latex should be made. It's how my latex is made. Natural and covered when it's stretch knit so it supports your body. Now, I need to tell you a little bit about chemicals. In 2007, the Consumer Product Safety Commission began requiring all mattresses sold in the United States must be flame-proof. Now, it sounds like a nice feature. They're trying to protect us from mattress fires. Negative. They did this to make the chemical industry and large mattress manufacturers filthy rich. And we consumers are sleeping in chemicals to make them rich. Now, what am I talking about? Well, the Consumer Product Safety Commission that began requiring these regulations have a risk assessment, and I have a copy of this, and I'm going to share this with you, because they admit the chemicals that are being used in these mattresses are toxic. and you need to know what they are. This risk assessment says potential health effects from the use of fire-retardant chemicals in mattresses. In this report, they list the chemicals, and I'm going to read to you what they say because it's very important. The first chemical they list is ammonium polyphosphate. It says here, there's no available data on subchronic or chronic exposures, pharmacokinetics, carcinogenity, reproductive development, or neurological effects. In other words, they're admitting to you they have no clue how that's going to affect your health. But it's perfectly okay. They have allowed mattress manufacturers to put that in their mattress. The next chemical is antimony trioxide. Antimony is heavy metal. It's more toxic than mercury and lead. And it says here, antimony trioxide would be considered toxic under the Federal Hazardous Substances Act. By the way, it also mimics arsenic. So how would you like to sleep in arsenic every night? The next chemical is boric acid. Now, boric acid is probably the least toxic of these chemicals that are listed here. But it says boric acid meets the definition of toxic under the Federal Hazardous Substances Act. And in case you don't know, boric acid is used as roach killer. The next chemical is decabromidiphenyl oxide. They call it DECA for short. It's a bromide, decabromidiphenyl oxide. And it says here, decabromidiphenyl oxide meets the definition of toxic under the Federal Hazardous Substances Act by virtue of its chronic organ system toxicity. It's chronically toxic to your thyroid. Now, to prove that, I've got an article here. This is written in Dr. Mercola's website. Dr. Mercola is a doctor that promotes preventative medicine and natural medicine. Okay? And he writes in this article, bromides are a common endocrine disruptor. Fire retardants used in fabrics, carpets, upholstery, and mattresses. So no wonder the Consumer Product Safety Commission's article here, or risk assessment, says it's chronically toxic to your organs. It destroys your thyroids. Now, this is an interesting story. One day I was working, and a lady came in, and she had seen one of my previous videos, and she had a scar on her neck where they had removed cancerous polyps from her thyroid. At least I think that's what it was. And she's saying that she didn't have any, she was a picture of health until she bought a brand new mattress, and then she started having thyroid problems. While we were talking about it, there was another couple in, and she told me what brand her mattress was. And I'm not going to say the name, but she told me what it was. And while we're talking about this, there's another couple in the showroom. He got up and said, you know, I have a cousin that has that exact same mattress, and he has thyroid problems. So that brand, I believe, was using decabromidiphenyl oxide. It's destroying people's thyroid. The next chemical listed is melamine. Melamine is considered acutely toxic. Back in 2007, I think it was March of 2007, there was a widespread problem of pet food coming from China killing people's pets. They discovered it was melamine in the pet food killing their pets. No wonder, it's acutely toxic. And last one is vinylidene chloride. It says vinylidene chloride is considered toxic under the Federal Hazardous Substances Act. Now, there's one other chemical not listed in the risk assessment, which is worthy of note, is formaldehyde. Now, I already know that there are some companies using formaldehyde. I've proven it. There's actually a class action lawsuit in Texas against a big brand name company because of the formaldehyde in their mattresses. The Consumer Product Safety Commission didn't mention formaldehyde. Now, most people know what formaldehyde is. Most people know it's a carcinogen. Okay, but they're not listing this as one of the fire retardant chemicals being used. They're keeping it hidden. I mean, most people don't know what this stuff is. You'd have to do a little research to find out what it is. But most people know what formaldehyde is. Now, I had a particular gentleman, by the way, I have a sign out in front of my business that says chemical-free mattresses. He came in, bought one of these big brand name mattresses, and it made him sick. He never even slept in it. They brought it in his house, put it in his bedroom, and he said the fumes, the smells coming from, the chemical smells coming from the mattress started to make him sick. And he wrote me a very long, handwritten testimonial about this particular brand making him sick. He called the retailer he bought it from and says, this mattress is making me sick. Please cut it out of my house. The retailer took a week to come and get it. they're hoping, they put it off, they're hoping that he'll just get used to it and eventually keep the mattress. When he was telling me this in my showroom floor, he says, you know, the symptoms I'm having, the nausea and the headaches and the shaking, he was an 84-year-old man. He says the same symptoms he gets when he's exposed to formaldehyde. Now, at the time, I didn't know that that brand had formaldehyde in it. I now know that it does, or did. I said, well, Mr. Poole, I said, the formaldehyde is a known fire retardant chemical. He goes, well, I know that's what's in that mattresses. That's what's making me sick. I know my symptoms. So, you know, does it matter that these chemicals are in mattresses? Oh, I'm going to show you it matters greatly, okay? So stick with me. Now, the chemicals are being used to meet these federal flammability regulations. The next question is, the chemicals in the mattresses, do they get into you when you sleep on the mattress? Well, the risk assessment here proves that. I have a copy of a chart in the back of this that shows 3 of those chemicals I just listed. Antimony trioxide, which is heavy metal, boric acid, which is roach killer, and decabromidiphenyl oxide, as you can see here. Now, it says on here ADD, sweat dermal. ADD stands for average daily dose. So your average daily dose with sweat dermal absorption, oral ingestion, inhalation for total. It says 0.8 milligrams of heavy metal arsenic, 0.08 milligrams of roach killer, and 0.07 milligrams of deca. So 3 of those chemicals, they're already proven that you absorb. Now, this is their assessment. I can tell you definitively that it does make people sick. I've gotten multiple testimonials. I have at least talked to over 100 people that tell me they think their mattress has made them sick. And I'm going to tell you a story in a minute about a woman who definitively documented that it made her sick. It gave her permanent neurological damage. And I'm going to share that with you in a minute. Here is a testimonial of a woman whose mattress made her sick. This is the second new mattress I have tried from blankety blank mattress since the beginning of December. The first one was made of foam and soy, and I was experiencing itchy eyes and some respiratory issues. The second mattress is made of latex and foam, and the itchy eyes and respiratory issues seemed better with this one, but then I developed vertigo when I laid down. Okay, so she's testifying. This woman writes, my children had an immediate skin reaction in a furniture store while we were looking at mattresses, standing next to and touching the small layers core samples showing what the mattress is made of. The salesman said the children must be allergic to the latex in it. Well, that particular brand doesn't have latex. It's all polyurethane. After having my children's skin tested for latex and finding no reaction to latex, we had yet to find the cause. We now know, thanks to you, maybe the flame retardant chemicals in mattresses that were the cause of their skin reactions. This woman writes, I purchased a mattress from a major bedding manufacturer 2 months ago in the fall of 2008. It was a wonderful, cushy, plush, comfortable plush top. I love the comfort of it. However, the first night while I was so sick from the off-gassing, I woke up in the middle of the night with horribly nauseating, coughing up lots of material in the lungs. This happened the second night too. After that, the chemical odor didn't go away, but it came less. And it was really noticeable if I put my head under the covers. 6 weeks later, I woke up one night to find my bare feet burning and itching. So I got up at 2 a.m., rinsed them off with cold water, and put on some socks and went back to bed. The next night, the bottoms of my feet, my back, and the back of my head started to burn and itch. Okay? Respiratory issues, skin rashes, that's typical. Another woman writes, I honestly do not know what has exactly been reacted to in the new mattress, but it's certainly severe and leaves me unable to breathe and without medication. From the first night of moving into a spare bedroom recently, an ancient mattress, I could breathe again and have not had the bronchitis, allergy symptoms, and sinus infection from a new mattress. Yada yada. Another woman writes, in late summer I purchased a plush mattress. It was a super comfortable, but within a few days I noticed I felt rashy. Rashes became progressively worse until my skin was red all over. After 2 weeks of trying to sleep on the mattress, I got up at 3 a.m. one morning, went to sleep on our guest room because I could not stand the burning and itching. Fortunately, the company from whom I purchased the mattress allowed me to return it. Okay, there's another mattress that had chemicals in it. So anyway, many testimonials from people that are getting sick from mattresses. Now, the Consumer Product Safety Commission claims do not absorb enough to make anyone sick. But you have to understand something. Let's say you're allergic to formaldehyde like Mr. Poole. Wouldn't you like to know the product you're buying has formaldehyde in it? You know, every mattress has a law label on it that lists if it's made of latex or cotton or horsehair or polyurethane. It's listed on there. The Consumer Product Safety Commission could have easily required mattress manufacturers to put on the law label what chemicals they're using. So you as a consumer know what you're buying if you're allergic to formaldehyde. But you got to understand, the Consumer Product Safety Commission does not want the consumer to know. They're claiming, now get this, they're claiming they're making the mattresses flame-proof so that you have more time to get out of your house in case of a fire. Now, most people do not die from flames. They die from smoke inhalation. And most fires do not start in the bedroom. They'll start in a heat source, electrical source. So by the time the fire spreads through your house and gets to your mattress, the mattress being flame retardant is not going to save your life. But they're claiming because it's flame retardant, it's no longer a source of fuel for a fire to spread. Okay, yeah, it slows down the spread of fire, but if it's finally gotten to your bedroom, you're probably already dead from the smoke. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Secondly, mattresses are required to be flame retardant, but your sheets, blankets, and pillows are not required to be flame retardant. What good is a flame-proof mattress if those things still burn just fine? So something's a little fishy. So I began to do a little research and found out that there's ulterior motives in the Consumer Product Safety Commission. Now, what could be driving the Consumer Product Safety Commission to pass these regulations? Well, it's interesting when, you know, because I'm a licensed bedding producer. I have to have my mattresses compliant with these fire retardant chemicals, or fire retardancy. So I started doing a little research into how to make them flame retardant. That's how I learned the chemicals. But I also learned that large mattress manufacturers in this country have a lobby group called ISPA, the International Sleep Products Association. It's a lobby group. And I learned that the mattress manufacturers lobby group supported the new fire retardant regulations that were about to go into effect in 2007. Scratch your head, why would mattress manufacturers want mattresses to be flame retardant? I mean, they're going to have to put chemicals in their mattresses. It's an increased expense. Why would they support this? Well, I found a couple of articles that may suggest why they did that. This is an article written in Furniture Today. It's a publication for mattress and furniture industry. It tells about the industry. I read it from time to time. Well, here's an article written in June of 2007. Now, the new law went into effect July 2007. This article was written a month and a half before the law went into effect. The article says, top 100 store chain W.S. Badcock said today it will close its bedding factory rather than make a major expansion that would be required to meet the federal flammability regulations. Badcock said it would begin outsourcing all mattress manufacturers to International Bedding Corp., a top 10 bedding producer. Well, here's a small W.S. Badcock is a furniture and mattress retail chain who made their own mattresses. They had their own mattress manufacturing plant, I think, in Florida. Well, they realized that this new Consumer Product Safety Commission regulation is a very expensive requirement for manufacturers to meet. So instead of the expense of trying to meet the standard, they decided to close their bedding factory and farm it out to International Bedding Corp., a top 10 bedding producer. Could it be that the chemical requirements in mattresses is designed to drive out competitors for the large mattress manufacturers? The large mattress manufacturers that have a lobby group? Could be. Well, guess what? I found another article. This was written in newsreview.com. They're interviewing Richard Lash, who is the owner of Square Deal Mattress Factory in Chico, California. He writes he admits that he's going to use boric acid to meet the flame standard, but it says the new flame standards would cost mattress manufacturers more than $100 million a year to implement, and it's the most expensive change the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission has ever made, according to a report by Consumer Affairs. The cost will be too much for some small companies to absorb, Lash said. He's confident of his own factory's survival, but he's concerned the codes will be the death of other small mattress companies. Then it says, there are currently 600 mattress manufacturers in the United States, and the new safety codes could eliminate a third of them. A third. So 200 mattress companies could go out of business because of these two regulations? Do you see what's happening? I mean, you're a consumer. Do you really need a flame-proof mattress when you know that you're going to die from smoke, not the mattress catching on fire, if it means sleeping in chemicals every night, which, by the way, they prove that you absorb into your body? Now, they claim it's not enough, but do you want to absorb heavy metal in your body every night? I don't think you do. The Consumer Product Safety Commission didn't seem to care what the consumer likes or wants or desires. They didn't give them an option. They didn't disclose on the product what chemicals the manufacturers are using, so you're in the dark. It's eliminating competition for large mattress manufacturers. That's what it's designed to do. Now, I got a phone call one day from a manufacturer of chemicals. He saw one of my videos, and I talked to him for about an hour. He was trying to explain to me that chemicals are not very toxic and there are not enough chemicals to hurt anybody. He was touting his own business. He didn't, I guess, probably didn't like me talking about the chemicals being bad. Well, as I was talking to him, I learned he's a member of the International Sleep Products Association. Wow, that shed some light on it too. How many chemical manufacturers have windfall profits today because mattresses are now required to be flame retardant? Oh, the chemical industry is making all kinds of money. Now you can see the Consumer Product Safety Commission is bought and paid for. And how that works is, and I'm going to share with you a little history here to understand why this works this way. Because people think, oh, the Consumer Product Safety Commission, they're looking out for consumers against, these mean, evil corporations that will just rip us off. Well, I mean, there is some truth to that, except the Consumer Product Safety Commission is not going to be the solution. They don't work for you as the consumer. You don't hire them. You don't fire them. You can't vote them out of office. They're appointed by the president for, I think, like a 7-year term. So they sit on this board and create regulations for the consumer or whoever's paying them under the table. That's how that works. These people get probably lavish vacations, or they're able to buy property at discount prices. I mean, it's a way of paying them under the table. By the way, we need you to pass these regulations making mattresses flame retardant. So the chemical industry and mattress manufacturers benefit. And ISPA is probably facilitating this for them. Now, I don't know that. It's pretty easy to see how that works. So they don't represent you. I mean, it's funny. You probably remember, and I'm just going to throw this out there. This is not really part of the education, but it is part of the education. I know this is supposed to be about mattress education, but let me share this with you. It's also about history. Most of us remember in our history classes in grade school or junior high school that America rebelled against England because of taxation without representation. The English Parliament would pass laws and tax laws and other regulations against the colonies, and the colonies said, wait a minute, time out, this is wrong. We don't have any representatives in Parliament to represent us. That means you can just walk all over us and just throw out all kinds of regulations and ruin us. They were forcing mercantilism on the colonists. And the colonist says, wait a minute, that's not freedom. That's tyranny. So when we created our own Constitution, Article 1, Section 1 of the Constitution says all legislative power is vested in Congress, so that your representatives are beholden to the people when they pass laws. But the Consumer Product Safety Commission passes laws, and they're not beholden to anyone except whoever's paying them. That's what you call regulation without representation, okay? And so it opens the door, all of this opens the door for nefarious things going on. Now let me show you how bad it has gotten. I got a call from a lady in Illinois. Her name is Rachel. She left a voicemail. Listen to this voicemail real quick.
Hi, my name is Rachel, and I've been watching some of your videos. I have a permanent neurological and inhalant injury from exposure to high levels in my mattress, and I'm wanting to understand a little bit more about the industry if you would be gracious enough to give me a call back and chat with me a little bit, that would be really great. 630. Thank you so much.
I called Rachel back, and we talked, and we have talked to each other many times, and she told me her whole story. She bought a big brand name mattress and started getting sick. She has permanent neurological damage from her mattress. Now, she didn't know what the problem was. She just knew that she had severe fatigue issues, memory loss. She said there were times when she couldn't even remember her own children's names. Standing in front of her and she can't think of their names. She knew there was something wrong. She went from doctor to doctor to doctor, blood work, couldn't figure out what her problem was. One of her girlfriends suggested to her, why don't you get a hair analysis done? You can send your hair off and it'll tell you if you've got foreign substances in your body. It shows up in your hair. So she tried it. Cost her about $200 or $250, something like that. It came back and she had a high level of antimony in her body. She's like, what's antimony? Where's that coming from? So she goes to the internet, does some research, and finds out that the antimony is a fire-retardant chemical used in mattresses and other upholstered products. So a light goes off in her head. Well, you know, I started having problems when we bought that mattress a couple years ago. So she immediately quit sleeping in it. She put it in a storage facility. She kept it. She bought herself a really expensive organic mattress because she was afraid that that mattress was making her sick. She kept the mattress because she's thinking that if the mattress really is making her sick, she has a lawsuit against this mattress manufacturer that has ruined her health. So she kept the evidence. Now she's telling me all this, and she said she sent the sample of the mattress off to have it tested for antimony. It came back positive. So she has antimony in her body. The mattress has antimony in it. So when I was talking to her, I asked her, did you get a quantitative value? Does it tell you how much antimony's in it? She says, no, it was just a screen for antimony, and it came back positive. I said, well, we need to know how much, because the Consumer Product Safety Commission claims there's not enough chemicals in the mattress to make anyone sick, and that you're not going to absorb enough to make anyone sick. Okay, that's what they claim in the risk assessment that I read to you. Even though they admit they're toxic, even though they admit you absorb them, they say you're not going to get enough. I said, we need to know how much is in that. So I asked her, would you send me a sample of your mattress? And she did. This is the sample here that she sent me. This is your foam, and this is your top quilting material. And then underneath this, if you can see here, this little mesh fabric right here. This mesh fabric is the fire barrier. It's a piece of material that's been infused with the chemicals. So when the flame reaches the mattress, it only burns through the surface materials. It reaches the fire barrier, and the rest of the mattress doesn't burn. So they're not putting chemicals in the foam. They're putting chemicals in this surface material. So I took this mattress and took a sample off and sent it to a lab to have it tested. I want to show you the results. First thing I want to show you, though, is that this particular mattress company has certifications on the purity of their mattress. They have a CertiPure certification confirming that their mattresses and the foam in their mattresses are clean of any bad chemicals and volatile organic compounds and all that stuff. CertiPure has certified their foams. But you got to understand something. It's not the foam that's got the chemicals. They don't put the chemicals in the foam. So the certification makes the mattress company look really, really nice. Oh, we have a certification of purity in our foams. Well, it doesn't tell the whole story. Okay? Now, the CertiPure certification says they have an upper limit on what they consider safe on antimony. I have it listed here. It says antimony. The guide limit part per million, it says 0.5. So the upper limit on antimony should be 0.5 parts per million. Okay, so we have a guidepost as to what would be safe and above which would not be safe. Okay, so when Rachel sent me this sample, I sent it off to get it tested. As you'll see here, this is the antimony test, and it shows that on average it has 1,757 parts per million. That is 3,500 times greater than CertiPure says is safe. So we're going to assume that CertiPure is really giving us a legitimate upper limit. Her mattress got 3,500 times the level that's considered safe. No wonder she's sick. Now, that was testing the particular fabric, that contains the material, that contains the antimony. Consumer Product Safety Commission says you don't get enough out of it to make you sick. So I told her, I was like, we need to, I went back to, I told Aunt Rachel, I was like, I'm going to test the surface materials too. The very surface materials. You can see here. The top fabric. Let me get this. The top fabric here. Not the fabric that contains the chemicals, but the top fabric. To see if any of the antimony is getting into the top fabric. Sure enough, I got that test back, and you can see here it says 207 parts per million. So it still has 400 times greater the amount of antimony than is considered safe in the surface materials. Now the Consumer Product Safety Commission says doesn't get out of the material, it's not enough to make you sick. You got to understand, if the Consumer Product Safety Commission was really interested in the consumer, like I said, they would require you to list the chemicals on the law label. They didn't do that. They also don't regulate how much chemicals these manufacturers are using. So the the mattresses are overdosed. No wonder she's sick. Now, there has been several news reports on the chemicals in mattresses, and I've put these on my website. There's a CBS2 Chicago local affiliate in Chicago did a report. There is a national CBS report on the chemicals that are making people sick, and there's the Toxic Hot Seat, which was a documentary done by HBO. I'm not sharing this with you to scare you into buying these mattresses. I'm trying to inform you. I gave you real data to show you that this is something that's serious. The Consumer Product Safety Commission claims that you're not going to get enough to make you sick. Do you trust them? Because I don't. Not for a minute do I trust them. Not from all the evidence I've got from people complaining and the actual reports of the chemicals that were in this particular mattress. Okay? Why am I sharing all this with you? Well, luckily, there is a loophole in the law, which, by the way, the loophole in the Consumer Product Safety Commission regulation also testifies to the fact that they know that it's toxic. The loophole in the law says if a doctor prescribes a chemical-free mattress, then it's legal for someone to sell you a mattress that doesn't meet the federal flammability regulations. Well, why would they have to put that in there? I mean, isn't the thing safe anyway? No, the reality is there are people that have chemical sensitivities, there are people that are allergic to mattresses, and unfortunately they find out it's too late. They find out after they've gotten sick from a mattress, because they're not finding out when they go into the showroom. The mattress salesmen are not telling them. Half the mattress salesmen don't even know. Mattress manufacturer's rep may more likely know, but they're not sharing that information with the sales reps. The salesmen on the sales floor. Okay? Why am I sharing this? Because my mattresses are chemical free. I make an all-natural latex product. Sap of a tree, not styrene butadiene. Well, what good is that if I had to fuse it with chemicals? I can sell you my mattresses. We sell all over the country. I ship them all over the country. Shipping's free. But I can't sell it to you unless a doctor prescribes it. Now, we've made it easy. I have a prescription form. I fax it to your doctor or your chiropractor. They sign it. They fax it back to me. Makes the sale legal to sell you something that does not have chemicals in it. If you want a quality product that's durable and no chemicals, you want one of my mattresses. I make four different firmness models to choose from. If you're, I have 3 different retail locations. My first location where I started the business is in Roanoke, Virginia. We're on Orange Avenue in Roanoke, Virginia. My second location I opened was in Richmond, Virginia. And the third location is in Raleigh, North Carolina. So I have 3 retail locations. Now, if you're not local to any one of those locations, just give me a call. I can fit you with a mattress. I've done this for now over 13 years. I know what people need. I know what's going to work for them. I have a very good success rate. Call me. Let's talk about what your needs are. I ship them to you for free, and you can avoid the big box chain stores and the big mattress manufacturers that are masters of marketing but making you a cheap product. Okay? Please visit my website. I actually have 3 websites. My main website is mattresseducation.net. On that website is a ton more information. I could talk to you for another hour, but I don't think my feet can take it. I do have videos on there for you to watch to learn even more about latex, the sap of a tree latex, synthetic latex, just everything. You name it that you need to know about my mattresses are there. You can give me a call. My phone number's on the website, mattresseducation.net. I would love to earn your business. I hope this video has been very helpful to you. Please give me a call or come and visit us at one of our showrooms. I'm Lee Carter, president of Sleep Essentials, and I can't thank you enough for taking the time of watching this video. Thank you very much.